Good morning. It's Monday, the 30th of April, and this is my truck. This truck is 24 years old. It's a 2000 C2500, which is a 3/4 ton two-wheel drive, 8-foot bed extended cab Chevrolet pickup with a 5.7 liter V8 in it. And I've had this truck for 22 years. I bought it in 2002. Back when I was in the construction business, and I've owned several trucks since then, and I do most of my own work. I've had other people work on it a time or two when I could afford to, or I felt like I wanted to give my money away. This truck has been all over the country, towing trailers. It's got 220,000 miles on it. And since I bought this truck, I've owned 3 other trucks. I had a 2006 GMC quad cab diesel 6.6 Duramax pickup that I used in my business for years. And then when I was up in Colorado back in 2016, I bought a Suburban, and I had that for a couple of years before I sold it, and I've sold both of those trucks. And in 2019, I bought a brand new Chevy Silverado quad cab pickup with a V8, and I hated that truck, and it was a piece of junk. It had a couple of major computer failures when it had less than 2,000 miles on it. And I was at the dealership talking to one of the service managers, and I asked him, is that normal for a truck like this to, one of these trucks to have these kinds of problems? And he said yes. And that was at the moment that I decided to sell it. So I'd had it for a year, and I took a $3,000 loss from what I paid for it selling it. Actually, I could have sold it for more than I paid for it if I would have held on to it for a year or two more, because of the price of vehicles going up. But anyway, this is I affectionately call it the Beast, and I love this truck. It's got hail damage on it from when I was up in Colorado, and I just got done putting a brand new air conditioning system in it last week, and you can see the new compressor there. It's got a new dryer, accumulator, new hoses, and a new condenser. The only thing I didn't replace was the evaporator core, because that's a huge job where you have to take the dashboard apart, and I just didn't want to tackle that. So I just cleaned out the evaporator core. It doesn't leak. I bought a set of gauges and a vacuum pump. Fortunately I say, but the air conditioner hasn't worked in like 5 years in this thing, and there was no Freon in the system, so I didn't have to go get it evacuated at a dealership. I put the vacuum on it myself, watched some YouTube videos and learned how to do that. Well, that's the great thing about YouTube. You can learn how to do just about anything nowadays, as long as you have the right tools. So I put a vacuum on it and got all the system all cleaned out. I flushed out the evaporator core with some AC flush and an air compressor, and to my great pleasure, it didn't leak. I held a vacuum on it for a couple of hours, and it didn't leak at all. So I filled it up with Freon, and I've measured that out with a scale, and now I have an air conditioning system. And I just got done doing some little repairs. Like, this is the shroud. It had some points where the little washers had kind of broken out of it, so I used some epoxy and super glue, and JB Weld is what that is, and put that back together. And also the grill had some cracks in it, like right there, and I used JB Weld on that. And it had another breakaway spot right there. and right there. So I put the JB weld on it, and that's some amazing stuff. And this is ready to go back together. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so the front end is all back together, and so the air conditioning work is completed, except for I think I'm going to get a new fan for it, because even though it's coming out the temperature it's supposed to, the fan doesn't blow very hard in this thing anymore. I imagine with 220,000 miles on it, that's probably fairly normal, especially being 24 years old. So I'm going to clean out the evaporator core with some of that spray foam that you put on condensers and evaporator cores to clean them out, and let it drain and see if that makes a difference. And if not, I'm going to spend the money and buy a new fan motor for it. I'm not sure if I need a new resistor too. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm going to pull it up here, and I'm going to drain and flush the radiator and put some new coolant in it, because it's been, even though there's not a lot of miles on it, it's been about 5 or 6 years since I did that, so time to do it. I'm also going to be installing a new trailer brake and trailer wiring for this thing, and draining and filling the transmission fluid. So yeah, she's going to get the complete redo and be ready to make it roadworthy. I already put new hinges on the doors. I put new hinge pins on the doors. They were in bad shape. I mean, it was so bad that you could barely get the doors open and closed. But that's fixed now, and they line up perfectly. So I'll update later.